Everybody good?
Goes down, not.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the County of Berrien. It's a pleasure to have you all here with us this morning as we conduct our committee of the whole. A little housekeeping. As a reminder, turn off or silence all electronic devices. Any material wish to have given to the board, please do so by giving it to the Sergeant of Arms. And then during the appropriate times in the agenda for public comments, if you wish to speak to the board or address the board, please do so by stating your name, jurisdiction here at the podium, and you'll have 2 minutes. With the housekeeping taken care of, let's go ahead and proceed with roll call.
Bell.
Here.
Curran.
Here.
Harrison.
Here.
Hinkleman. Majeri. Pitchford.
Here.
Allrath. Werfel. Yarborough. Elliott. Freeling.
Present.
Madam Chair, you have 11 present, 1 absent.
Excellent. We have a quorum. The next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from October 10th. Did everyone receive those? Take a look at them. Thank you. There's a motion from Commissioner Werfel, a second from Commissioner Majerick. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Minutes are approved. Requisition review.
Good morning. Does anybody have any questions about the requisitions? Perfect. And then please today get with me and tell me what time you want to come here for your Microsoft 365 so we can get all that set up. Thank you.
Thank you. Those will be making their way around and will be considered at the 10:30 meeting on the consent agenda. We now come to that point of scheduled discussion, and we have a apportionment report from Warren Parrish, our equalization director. Yes, that's you.
Ready for me?
I don't know. Are we ever ready for you?
So I decided this might come a little too close to home, but I thought I'd pick on you folks this morning. What is a politician's favorite footwear? Flip flops.
Oh, all right, get out. Nice.
Hey Warren, what do you call a pumpkin on the beach? A life gourd.
Awful. Okay.
All right, so we're in business. All right, what are we doing this morning? Apportionment, it looks like. All right, what's that about? Otherwise referred to as the nightmare that never ends. All right, so this presentation is going to be pretty familiar to you, but there are a couple changes this year that I'll highlight. But there's 2 main objectives to this. It's to not only show the millage rates throughout the county, but also estimated revenue impacts of those millage rates. It is a ton of work. Why I hinted at the nightmare. It's something that I have to work on like throughout the entire year because there's constant back and forth with all the taxing units to make sure the numbers are right. And it's never as easy as it should be. But as a reflection of that, I don't even have an exact number. I just know there's some 200 plus different millage rates. Even determining the number is difficult. And those millage rates are levied by the 71 various taxing authorities throughout Berrien County. And I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking, Warren, last year I distinctly remember you said 70 various taxing units. And I remember that because I went home and told my family about it because it was so exciting. But today I'm saying 71. Reason for that is Waterville Lake District Library became their own district this year, whereas previously they were under Waterville Lake Township and Waterville Lake City. So we gained an extra taxing authority. The main reason for them doing that was to create more work for me. I think it's actually just like you just have one ballot measure rather than one from the township or one from the city, but I don't know why they did it. But at any rate, What we're doing today is ensuring that all of the rollbacks for Headley have been properly calculated and accounted for, which I have done. This year, we're looking at about 54 millage reductions, which is a significant increase from last year's 5 millage reductions. And what we're seeing with that 54, that's actually a more typical number. I know it seems like a big increase, but the thing that's driving that is we're still seeing a lot of property transactions for high dollar amounts. And even though we were experiencing that last year, we had record-breaking inflation the year prior and then last year as well. Now the inflation rate has mellowed out significantly. So there's less of a buffer to cause those millage rollbacks. So again, that 54 is a more typical number. You can see I've got kind of a breakdown of where those are at, if you're interested. There's my list of taxing authorities, and where we got our extra one is our extra library in here. So here's just an example of a page from the report. This is Bainbridge Township breaking down all of the millage rates. I'm picking on Bainbridge this morning because if they didn't want to be picked on, they shouldn't have named the township starting with the letters BA. I didn't invent the alphabet. It's just the first one, so they get picked on. Moving on with another example from the report, still using Bainbridge. These are the taxable values that from the previous slide, we're looking at millage rates. And on this current slide, we're looking at taxable values, the two relevant variables for this report. The report has a couple different charts and graphs in it. This is just one example showing the total millage rates for each of our townships, cities, and villages. And just another example slide from the report. Every municipality has this breakdown. I think it's the most comprehensive, showing each of the various areas of funding or separate millage rates that each municipality has. This time I'm picking on Watervliet just because it's a shorter picture that I could fit on one slide. So they get picked on. Other than that, not a whole lot to talk about. Here's the county's view. We broke 10 billion in taxable, I believe, this year. I was telling you back in April. And so this is just an example of revenue projections based on those millage rates. Parks was renewed earlier this year at the 0.1 mils. All of the other special or extra millages were again approved or renewed rather effective for next year. So this is still the old rates. They'll still be the same numbers next year, assuming there's no rollback, but. And let's see. Oh, yes. So the statute requires that this gets done in October. So that's why I'm here today, asking you to approve these numbers. Of course, that's usually creates kind of a unique situation when there's villages on the ballot for November that are to be effective this year. So this year we've got 3 separate villages on the November ballot that will be effective in 2024. So assuming any of these pass, you're going to be seeing a supplemental resolution from me to approve an amended report that includes any of these that pass and are going to be levied. So pretty typical. There's usually a follow-up resolution from me in November. And I think that's all I got for you. I went through it kind of quick, but nothing spectacular to remark on other than those few changes. So.
Well, we appreciate the report. Are there any questions for Warren and what he shared? Yes, Commissioner Yarbrough.
I would like to ask. Good morning.
Good morning.
Explain to me about Riverside and Hager Township. Are they on the same street? And you may not be the one I should ask, but this just came to me. I just wondered because I've been there a lot
school?
lately. And so there's Riverside, what is it? Is it a city, a township, a village?
It's a school district
A
you're-
street.
you're referring to, right? Riverside Schools?
Yeah, that's what I wanted, because we go to Hager Township.
Yeah.
We went to a meeting there, but it's in Riverside, Michigan.
Downtown is a good.
So it's not a municipality, as in, it doesn't have, its own political boundaries. They don't have,
Riverside does not.
no, but they're, I don't know exactly what it's, the type of entity it is, but it's not a city, township, or village. The school district there's is Riverside, also sometimes referred to as Hager Schools. So
Goes up to, I think, sixth grade.
Yeah.
It's something, but I thought about.
I don't know that there's actually any like boundaries that says this is Riverside other than the school district's boundaries.
Because really, they do, Riverside does.
Not the most informed answer, but hopefully that sheds some light. Sorry.
Work for us to do to figure out why, what the history is there, I guess.
Sure.
So- Yes, exactly. Yes, absolutely.
We know it's state off.
Warren, I did have a question as it related to the millages that were passed for the county for all the special millages. And I saw on your report, Parks was at 0.1.
Yeah.
But some of the other ones are already rolled back. Will those go back up to the full rate, or is that the rate that was approved?
That's the rate that was approved.
Okay.
So they had only been reduced marginally.
Right,
And so I believe back for the August ballot, it was decided to not seek a headly
Adjustment,
override. Yeah.
right.
And so they were just maintained at that level. That's the level the voters approved, effective for 25. It's possible they can roll back in 25. It's nearly impossible to predict, but usually the county doesn't have rollbacks. The only year that we have in recent history was the one that caused those insignificant reductions that we're talking about. That was maybe 3-4 years ago.
Mhm.
That I coincidentally happened to predict, by the way. Very proud of that.
you did. We appreciate that. We
Sure.
appreciate your joke, kind of. I did tell you to get out. but- Are there any other questions for Warren?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So since there's no other questions on this, Warren's here, and I think it would be just a good time. We've got a little bit of time to kill. Warren has worked over the last 2 years on the rollout of a software program called Oblique Imaging. And it's essentially, it would be like a fueled up version of the aerial images that just about all of us have come to use either
Mhm.
through Google Earth or through the beacon maps. But something that is unique about what he's done is to help offset the costs of the oblique imaging. Warren went and met with all of the taxing jurisdictions, and the majority of those taxing jurisdictions have opted in to help offset the cost. This is a lot of work. It was a ton of meetings between Warren, local township officials, local assessors, et cetera. He even went to the extent of going to a Chamber of Commerce luncheon to just try and help seal the deal. And Warren, do you have just a few townships now that haven't opted in? I mean, you've got the majority.
Yeah, that's correct. We only actually have one solid no at the moment. Other than that, there's, don't hold me to it, 5 or 6 that I'm still just waiting to hear back from. I'm holding out for maybe 3 of those, and I think maybe the remainder we're just not going to get this year. But honestly, that outcome is better than I had originally anticipated. And if you'd like, I don't have numbers in front of me, but I had contemplated if there's a rainy day and you need a committee of the whole presentation, I can kind of summarize what that looks like and who's all using it. Because there's at this point, like I want to say 150 different whether municipal staff or county staff that are using this tool right now. So don't hold me to the number, but like I can put together some information for you.
Really, really good work. It's a tool that's going to provide a lot of value to the equalization department, but literally every township, every local unit that has an assessor, this is a tool that they'll now have available to them. It can cut down on the amount of time being spent on field visits. It can also help with our various departments have a much greater understanding of what is on an individual property. You would have your typical aerial. Now this is dropping down to essentially the street view. Very high resolution, and then the tool allows for calculations to be performed, building heights, building widths, all from essentially from your desk. Really slick tool, and it's one that Warren worked his tail off to minimize the impact on the county's budget. He knew it was something that would benefit his department, and he worked very creatively to spread the word on how it would benefit the local units. And then he did a really good job of getting those local units to help offset costs.
Thank you very much for the acknowledgement. There's at least 50 county employees that are using this too. So it's not just our department benefiting. The tool integrates directly with 911's dispatch system. We're still setting that up, but it'll be there. And from the treasurer to the drain commissioner, like it's hugely beneficial. And not to the scope of work was much more challenging than I expected. Not only trying to solicit participation from the local units, but just configuring it and being the administrator for however many 100 users we have, and setting up the layers. And it's very customizable too. So if a township says we want to see drains and we want them to be red or whatever, that can all be done. So super helpful from a number of reasons, but it's also been a significant investment of my time. So, but I'm glad. And you've all been supportive in it. You approved me going out and doing it, I think last year. So I very much appreciate the support.
Solid notes.
I think we saw. I think it's we saw. Off the top of my head.
We just in the last couple of weeks, we picked up Hager Township. They had done some debating and finally agreed that they wanted to participate. And then Commissioner Ballrath did some arm twisting this week, and it appears that we've got a commitment from Coloma Township to participate. So it's just one of these where one by one, I think that as the local assessors start using it, the word of mouth is traveling and you're getting more participation.
I'm hopeful that next year, especially after seeing, the overall majority of the county implementing this, that hopefully we can get 100%. And if that is achieved, right now I've got it so local units, they can see all the imagery, but they're only getting their parcels and their whatever layers get added, GIS layers, they're only seeing for their municipality. If everybody gets on board, I can say, okay, everybody gets everything now. And that's my ideal objective. So
Well done.
thank you.
Well, we appreciate your work on it. Appreciate you highlighting it, Brian, and keep doing good things. And I can see that being such a useful tool in multiple capacities for the work that we do at the county, but also on the municipal level. So, yeah, good job.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for the report.
Definitely.
Yes, Commissioner Warfel.
I Googled Riverside.
Oh, you did? We have some
It
information
is-
on Riverside.
It is, the name is for the post office. And it is a post office only for PO boxes, and there are 87 of them.
There you go. Now we know. Professor Google comes to the rescue again. Thanks again.
I'll try to be more prepared, and I've done my Googling in advance next year.
Thank you. Thank you. Wikipedia, Google it, yeah. All right, well, thank you again for that presentation. We come to that part in our agenda for public comments. If anyone wishes to share any more information on Riverside or other things, please do so by going to the podium, state your name, jurisdiction, and you'll have 2 minutes. See everyone rushing. Yeah. All right, well, we will close that section of public comments. Announcements. Next week, there will be no committee of the whole as we do the rollout of Microsoft 365. We'll be doing some training for the commissioners. We'll be getting new devices and the rollout on the new software. So there will be no committee of the whole, but I believe Annette has gone around and secured appointments for everybody for different times to come and get your devices and get your training.
Madam Chair, can I chime in?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is not directed at any one commissioner, but to the group. If you need additional time, just speak up. We will work with you. This is one that it's going to be a big change. IS staff will be here on next Thursday to work with you on an individual basis to help with the handoff from one device to the new device. However, if you're still struggling with getting to your email, to your documents, just say the word. We will assist. Bring your old devices and
And chargers.
yep, so you're going to bring your old device, you're going to turn that in, you will then get a new one. And then if you are going to do any type of access from your personal cell phone, make sure that you've got that.
I think Annette sent something out to all
Yep.
of us last week.
Yep.
If you're interested in having your emails accessible through your personal cell phone device, you need to let staff know that you'd like to have that be added to your cell phone, because then it's compartmentalized on your cell phone, but they need to have it for record for setting things up. Commissioner Kern.
I don't use my phone, but I do use my desktop at home computer. That's gonna work.
I don't think it will, sir, but before we wrap, I'll have one of the IS folks talk with you.
I won't be able to check, tell me email from home anymore.
You'll be able to from your laptop. Yes.
It may be another situation where you would have to let them know that that's the device, and you'd have to agree to the terms of how we utilize the technology.
Plug in an additional screen that's a little bit larger.
You
You
can.
You can.
Yeah, so these can dock to larger screens, and just talk to us and we will work with you to figure out how to make it easy to read.
Zoom meetings.
Yeah, so Chris is coming over here for this morning's admin meeting, and I'll ask him, once he's done with admin, we'll just go around to each of the committees. Any questions like that should be easy to answer. On Zoom, it should be pretty simple. If you're using your home device, if you're using an iPad, Zoom is one that should be available. Now, with the 365 implementation, the intent is to eventually get off of Zoom and use the Teams product. Once we're running Teams, I think you're going to be bound to just the county device.
That's correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Certainly, if there's any other questions, IT staff is ready to address our concerns, questions, make sure it's a smooth transition.
And then just one last reminder, if you want a flu shot, next Thursday, they will be available in this building. You just need to let Amy upstairs know that you want to be on the list. So if you want a flu shot, it's not going to cost you a nickel. You just need to let Amy know.
And it starts at what time?
The flu shot clinic? Yeah, so last year it started, I think at 8:30, and it may have actually been before that, 8 a.m.
Can I bring my IT staff to this meeting? My wife.
You can bring anyone you want.
I think if you need some help on that.
I think I got it.
Yep.
Flip-flop thing, so.
Well done.
Oh, all right. Are there any other comments, questions before we adjourn to go to our committee meetings? There are no more. We are adjourned.